Greetings everybody and welcome to PlaidStallions Toy Ventures. I'm Brian, your host, and tonight we're actually not really going to talk about a toy specifically. In fact, it's not a toy at all. It's technically soap in a can, but hey, it was sold in the toy aisle. Did I also mention that it's crazy?
I want this night to get crazy.
That's right. Today we're going to talk about Crazy Foam, something I have been personally obsessed with since the first time I saw it at the Eatons toy department in the Scarborough town center. Now, to give you the backstory, Crazy Foam actually premiered long before I did. It was the product of American Aerosol Corporation, who in 1965 took an ordinary shaving cream can, designed it to look like a colorful character, and filled it with a gentle foam soap. The TV marketing campaign basically told kids that they could make a giant mess in the tub and nobody would care. Bath time has traditionally been a challenge with parents, and Crazy Foam, much like Mr. Bubble, were pretty good arguments for taking a bath. In this period, Crazy Foam cans had a 3D aspect to them and looked vaguely like Hanna-Barbera characters. The concept at the time was, once the children were done with the soap, the character head could be removed, and then kids were encouraged to do fun crafts with the sculpted item, like make a puppet or make a puppet. The character selection included funny animals, clowns, dragons, and even Saint Nick himself. Crazy Foam was a massive hit, and even though competitors followed, kids knew it by name. They had the branding, so sorry Looney, Lather, and Silly Soap. Kids could smell your knockoff nonsense a mile away. There's a real aesthetic beauty to these cans. I mean, they are extremely charming and well designed. It's just that kind of mid-century look, and I think they're just fabulous. I don't own any, but I could see a collection of these being something really eye-catching to this day. In the early 1970s, Crazy Foam returned, but with some major revamps. The new design of the tins eliminated that 3D aspect of the caps, and now the character's head was just printed on a stock lid. The other new feature was licensing. Through Stan Weston's Licensing Corporation of America, Crazy Foam now had the superheroes from DC Comics and the House of Marvel representing. These characters were heavily TV advertised, and I luckily got one of the original vintage reels recently and have restored them, so let's take a look.
It's Crazy Foam, the super soap that makes it fun to take a bath.
Captain Robin Superman!
Crazy Foam!
Captain Robin Superman!
Crazy Foam!
The first wave of superhero Crazy Foam included Batman, Robin the Boy Wonder, and the Man of Steel Superman. Spider-Man was the only Marvel character released during this period, alongside one of my favorite childhood cartoon characters, the Pink Panther. A Wonder Woman Crazy Foam can would follow in the subsequent years. Her creation was no doubt inspired by the success of the Linda Carter television series. I want to just stop and say that this is my white whale. This is the last Crazy Foam character I need to complete my set. I have been looking for like 20 years on and off, so if anybody is thinking of selling her, we would have much to discuss. Please reach out. The late 1970s would see another innovation and breakthrough for Crazy Foam. Thanks to the adding of non-toxic food coloring, Crazy Foam was no longer a stark white, but could be yellow, blue, and pink. One of the earliest use of color Crazy Foam were the FoamTons, which were obviously trying to cash in on the popularity of Star Wars with its Cylon-y looking can. And yes, Cylon-y is a perfectly cromulent word. I remember the FoamTron commercials vividly because they played during Battle of the Planets, and I watched a lot of Battle of the Planets. New Crazy Foam designs appeared at the close of the 70s, such as the very popular TV sensation The Incredible Hulk, Also, thanks to the upcoming Robin Williams film, this is mentioned in the brochure, Popeye made an appearance as a Crazy Foam tin, along with 2 original creations. The orange foam monster, who looks a lot like Gritty, the terrifying Philadelphia Flyers mascot. And the C-3PO looking yellow Foamatron. During the early 1980s, when Smurf mania swept our grade schools, Crazy Foam was there, and also returned to the 3D sculpted heads from the 1960s for this release, which was, of course, TV advertised. The brand would pop up again in the early 2000s, this time under a different company, bringing back the superheroes. This time, it would be based on the Bruce Timm Justice League cartoon, and would also see the return of 3D sculpted heads yet again. This series included Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and they're just really beautifully designed. However, the biggest development with Crazy Foam would happen in 2015 when a new company called the Original Crazy Foam would appear and bring back with it a new shampoo and body wash formula. The new cans are extremely eye-catching and well-designed, but smart enough to retain the classic look that needs really no improvement. The DC Comics heroes returned with the standby characters we've mentioned a few times, and they added the Flash, Green Lantern, and the clown prince of crime himself, the Joker, the first villain Crazy Foam. Now your cans can fight. Parents, overwhelmed with nostalgia like myself, brought home cans to the kiddies so they too could know the pleasure of your favorite superhero vomiting on you when you're naked. Huh. Original Crazy Foam didn't stop there. They created some fun original designs for the holidays, like these awesome Santa Claus series, and licensed popular themes such as Paw Patrol, My Little Pony, and the Transformers series. And while we haven't really heard much from Original Crazy Foam on social media in a while, I doubt this is the last time we see Crazy Foam. Hey, if you like my channel and want to support it, please consider checking out my shop. We've got 10 issues of Toy Ventures magazine, which is a print magazine dedicated to vintage toys. Our newest action figure of cult legend Tura Satan is in stock, and we've got cool monster toy merchandise like collector pins, keychains. It's all in the PlaidStallions shop, and the link is below. Thank you for considering. I have a really special connection to Crazy Foam. I know that sounds bizarre, but it's mainly because of its location. You see, the first time I ever saw Crazy Foam, it was in the Eatons toy aisle next to the Mego Superheroes display, and I'm just very quickly trying to create what that might have looked like. At that time, Robin was my favorite superhero, and well, I had to have the Robin Crazy Foam that day. It was fun, but I don't think I ever saw Crazy Foam again. So it just became this very positive single memory that, you know, I could still see that end cap in my head. And that's what I think of every time I see Crazy Foam, is just, you know, being 5 years old and seeing it and having my mind blown. I've been collecting it since the dawn of eBay, because I really hadn't had much luck finding it at flea markets or toy shows. And yes, most of the tins are empty. A lot of what you do find out there has cracks and damages to the top or a little bit of paint missing. Oddly enough, my Hulk can is full, so maybe I'll try to... Oh my god, it burns. So that, folks, is my tribute to Crazy Foam. Are you a collector? Did you have it as a kid? Did you think it was weird? Because I super think it's weird, but that's why I love it. It's such a strange concept and so colorful and beautifully designed. I think you just become a kid when you see it. Well, that's at least my case. Why don't you let me know in the comments below, or in our Facebook group, PlaidStallions, where Crazy Foam is an important subject. Thanks everybody for checking this out, especially if you watched it to the end. That really helps the channel out, and I appreciate it. If you are new to this, please consider hitting like or subscribe. This is the content we make every week. And if you're not new to this, please consider sharing it with a friend. It really helps us out. Until next time, my friends, be well and talk toys, not other people. Cheers.